Okay? So from negative infinity, as that goes to positive infinity, x is going to negative infinity. So from negative infinity to negative 2, take a break. And then we pick back up at to positive infinity. Yes? I am talking about when my f of x, when my y is above 0. Okay, B says less than or equal to. So when I'm talking about less than or equal to, I got to be below. Right? So then I'm talking about this section right here. Now there's no break in that. And I have the or equal to. So that's going to be, like I said earlier, with the square brackets. From the negative 2 to the positive 2. All right, now your next one, problem 4, is a little bit different. So see what you would come up with for your solutions. It's a little bit different because my A, flip that graph over so that it's concave down instead of concave up. A would be a negative number, right? Flip that over. So let's see what you get for your answers for A and B. G of x is less than 0. G of x is greater than or equal to 0. So what did we come up with? G of x is less than 0. So I want when y is below 0, right? I'm coming from negative 1 to a 4. So negative infinity, comma, negative 1. Union 4 to infinity. Yes? Okay. When g of x is greater than or equal to square brackets, negative 1, comma, and 4. Yes? By the way, for this g of x right here, what is your, do you have a minimum or do you have a maximum? Maximum, I got a highest point and it's going to go back down again, right? What's your axis of symmetry? Yep, x is equal to 1.5. From 4, 3, guys, you gotta know that stuff. All right, on this one, right here, my g of x is my linear, my red line. My f of x is my blue. So I want to know, when is g of x greater than f of x? When is my red line greater than my blue line? What do you think? Maybe it's a little bit easier to read this from the other side. When is f of x less than g of x? If you looked at it in terms of f of x being less than, when is my parabola less than my linear? Wouldn't that be all of this here? So I would be from -2 square brackets to 1. So when is f of x greater than? That's going to be this out here. So that's going to be -infinity to -2 union 1 to infinity. I always find it easier to look at it in terms of the parabola, because it's easier to spot where that parabola is at, if it's below or above that line. So sometimes I'll read mine backwards. See what you got for 6. Okay, again, my f of x is the parabola. So where is f of x less than g of x? Where is the blue below The red, that's supposed to be red, but I mean, it really looks pink. But anyway, where is it below? Down here, yes?
Negative infinity, -3, union 1, infinity.
Perfect. Yes? And where is it greater than or equal to? Okay? So not bad on those, right? You just got to kind of think about which one is which. All right. The others, when I don't give you a graph. Now, I can't speak for the university and the final exam because I don't make it. Hello, don't do that. I do not make your final exam, but I can tell you for the test, you might have one of these with both lines as a graph and have to do one that you won't have in a problem. Okay, when it comes to the problems, you're just going to have the f of x greater than or equal to 0. Okay, or less than or equal to 0. So how am I going to solve these here? 1, check out A. Is it positive A or negative A? 2, you're going to factor. What am I looking for? What do I get when I factor them? My zeros. I get my x and my x-intercepts, right? So if I have x squared minus 4x, my A is positive. What does that tell me? Well, I know my graph is going to be concave up, right? Because A is positive. What are my x-intercepts? When I factor this, I take out an x, and I get left with x minus 4. So x is equal to 0 from this guy, and x minus 4 equals 0. So that gives me x is equal to a positive 4. Now all I want is a quick rough draft. 0 and 4. And I know that it's going to come down. And I haven't bothered to figure out how far down. I don't need to know that, do I? All I need to know is that I have a minimum underneath. So looking at this, where is x squared minus 4x greater than 0? This was 0, 0, and this is 4. Negative infinity 0, union 4 to infinity. Yes? All you got to get is you got to know if this is going to come up or it's going to come down. And then you need these 2 points right here you get from factor. Let's try our x squared plus x is greater than 12 problem. X squared plus 12 plus x, excuse me. Do I want to leave that 12 where it's at? Oh, we should have gone to 10, I'm sorry. All right, what am I gonna do first on this one?
Subtract 12.
Okay, so then I've got x squared plus 1x minus 12 is greater than,
0.
what kind of an a do I have?
Positive.
So that means that I've got a u, right? Okay, what can I multiply that will give me a negative 12, but add to a positive 1?
Negative 4 and positive 3. Yeah. Let's get it from first.
You're giving me the final answers instead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So my x-intercepts are going to be the negative 4 and the positive 3, yes? Okay. So just a quick rough sketch on my graph. I'm going to say negative 4. I'm going to say positive 3. And I know that I have a U shape. Now, again, I'm not saying any of this down here is in any way accurate. All I'm worried about is where does it cross that line, right? Okay, so when is it greater than 0? Again, we ended up with negative infinity. Whoop. That is supposed to be infinity. Yes? All right, let's come over and do 10. Well, I'm going to do 17, and then I'm going to leave the last 3. You sure you don't have any questions on 4-3? Will be a short night? Y'all saying yay? Okay, so I'm going to say x squared minus x plus 1 is less than or equal to 0. Is there anything I'm going to factor that I can multiply to get a positive 1 and add up to? So what am I gonna have to use here? I could complete the square. Gonna have to use your formula. Negative. Okay, again, my A is positive, so I know that I've got a U. And I have a negative 1 plus or minus 1 squared minus 4 times 1 times 1 over 2 times 1. Look at under your radical. Remember your discriminant from 1, 2? What's going to happen up under here when I do 1 minus 4? A negative, right? What does that tell me about my graph? Now, I don't really know what my vertex is because I haven't explored this problem. But if it's a U shape, and I don't have, because that's a negative 3, because I have 1 plus or minus the square root of negative 3 over 2, that tells me I do not have any x-intercepts at all, right? That tells me that my graph is going to be above that x-axis. So there isn't any because that's a negative, so there's no zeros. All right, so when am I less than or equal to 0? Never. Not gonna happen. Okay, do we understand why, guys? Now, if that had been a negative A, I'd been flipped the other way, right? So be careful of that. All right, let me see you get these. Hand up if you get stuck. And those 3 problems, after that, you are good to go.